It's the PHNX Coyotes podcast. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and leave us a 5-star review. It's Petey, along with Craig Morgan, and another day that we are Leo-less. Yes. It's a Leo-less day, and with the last one, though. This is supposedly, though. Yeah, we'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, okay.
It's because I'm just telling you, come ad read time, I'm going to get my tongue tied again.
Mm-hmm. But we do have Sean here, and Sean has chipped in more than usual, more than 50% of the show that he usually does. Sean is going to be presenting Trivia Tuesday today.
Oh yeah,
and I think
we got a lot going on today.
I suspect,
yes, sir,
it's going to have a Buffalo flavor to it.
You think so?
Well, time will tell.
Upstate New York area. There we go. It's interesting. We have a lot going on then, because we are going to talk to the newest Coyote.
Poughkeepsie. Yeah, we're going to tie it to Poughkeepsie.
How many times have we talked about how show started off with we're going to talk to the newest Coyote this summer?
Yeah, seriously.
Like way too much.
It's good. Yeah,
or
like
not
uncle.
enough. Depends how you look at it. So we are going to talk to Matt Dumba here in a minute. And Ezra. Well, did you see what Ezra said?
I can't because I don't have my
You literally can't see that far away?
Nope.
Oh my God, you're
Hey, Ezra.
blind.
Good to know you're here.
Ezra says Dumba, the next ghost, might have been asked. So in full transparency, Matt Dumba had to work out today and he had to get to the ice. So it was a very short interview, and we had to pre-record it so he could get to his workout. So it's something we did about an hour ago.
Yep.
We're going to play it for you here in a few minutes. I'm excited about this signing. I really am. And the more you talk to the guy and the more people you talk to about him, the more excited you can become about Matt Dumba.
Yeah, no question about that, and the role too, right? We've heard, and we'll get a chance to find out. We've heard what a good defender he is already. You've analyzed that. You broke that down for us yesterday. But his role was different in Minnesota than it had been in previous years. So if he's back in a role like he was accustomed to earlier in his career, or that Shane Gostisbehere had while he was here in Arizona, can he recapture some of that offensive magic as well? Become more of that two-way guy again, but an older, wiser two-way guy who maybe is a better all-around player than he's ever been.
Yeah, and I think when you talk about Gostisbehere and Matt Dumba, it's you're talking about guys that have been different roles for the team that they were on at that time, and then they step in and they're the guy. Yeah. Gostisbehere was clearly the guy. Matt Dumba is the guy. Like, he is the number one defenseman here now for the Coyotes, so his expectations are thus. And when you talk about his minutes, like, he ate a lot of minutes for Minnesota, but he ate them with Jonas Brodin. And Jonas Brodin, to me,
as he calls him,
and people don't know Jonas Brodin around the league because he doesn't put up the points like Erik Karlsson that we'll talk about later. But Jonas Brodin is one of the best defenders in the National Hockey. He's got a great stick. He moves his feet incredibly well. So when you throw out Dumba and Jonas Brodin, you're on the defensive side of the puck. You're getting against the best players on the opposing team. You're getting defensive zone starts. So Matt Dumba took all of that duty last year. This year, he's going to get both sides of it. Yeah. It's really exciting, and we're going to hear from himself. And then Tracy, thanks for joining us. Do you see Tracy's a Wild fan? From Minnesota, I hope. Because
very nice.
I don't know if you know this, Tracy, because you're a Wild fan. I am from the great state of Minnesota, the land of 10,000 lakes. Actually, there's over 11,482, but who's counting? From up in Bemidji. So here we go. Without further ado, we are going to get a chance to listen from the man himself and find out why his nickname and their thumbnail called him El Tigre. Here is Matt Dumba. I want to welcome in Coyotes' newest defenseman, Matt Dumba. Matt, thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedule today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Matt, I got to be honest with you. With a last name like Dumba, the nickname possibilities are not great. So we need to think outside the box. And I was searching the internet, and I found a Q&A that you did with the NHLPA about 4 years ago when you admitted that if you could choose your nickname, it would be El Tigre. So you need to explain that to us.
I mean, I wish I had the golf game to back that up. But... yeah, kind of tough with the nicknames. Boys call me Dumbs.
That's not working. We had a new one here.
Need some creativity. We're just looking for the right guy to give me the right nickname.
Where did El Tigre come from, though?
I mean, I love Tiger. I love being on the course. So it'd be good fit in the desert. The mental side of things away from the rink will be perfect for me.
You're coming to the right place if you like to golf, by the way. I know you like to fish, but golfing maybe a little bit better in the desert. We suggested the doctor or Doc, because your initials are MD, and I just said the doctor, and we're going to try and see if Doc
I
sticks.
like that. Yeah.
The Doc. Yeah.
Get that in the rotation. We'll get that to stick.
The doctor. I like it.
All right, yeah, we've got some sway with Coyotes Nation. We'll see if we can make that work. Hey, Mike Rousseau and Joe Smith have both mentioned to me what an elite defensive player that you have become. I'm sure it's something you've always taken pride in, but has it become a greater focus for you as your game has evolved, as your career has evolved?
Definitely in these last couple of years, and the position I was put in Minnesota to play against those top lines every night with my D partner at the time, Jonas Brodin. And yeah, I did take. It is fun. It is fun dialing into that, and I think it started in Arizona though. We had during COVID, we had those awesome skates out at Ice Den that eventually got switched over to Oceanside because McDavid and Matthews pandemonium. The word got out, and there's people all over the place, and they definitely didn't want that going down during COVID. So we were kind of trying to avoid that. But pulling up to those skates is like, you got to bring your defensive game here and be dialed in, or you're going to get walked and you're going to get embarrassed. So that's kind of when I first started taking it more seriously, and I think it's a big piece of my game now, and I want to show the Coyotes Nation and my teammates that I have that in the bag, but I also have that offensive side, and have become a more balanced defender and one who can play both sides of the puck at an elite level.
I want to talk about that offensive side of the puck. When you look at earlier in your career in Minnesota, you had some pretty good offensive numbers. And like you said, you've taken on more of a defensive role with the Minnesota Wild. Here in Arizona, the expectations are you're going to add to both sides of the puck. You're going to be on the ice all the time. You're going to be asked to contribute offensively. Does that excite you that you're going to be asked to do that? Is that something that's still in your game? You just haven't had an opportunity to display it much? Or how do you feel about your offensive game?
I think that's exactly it. I feel like at this point in my career, I'm ready to do both. I might have been a little naive early on in the career, thinking that I could get away with, playing my offense without having the defense, and then, had to, look at my game and be like, I want to be predictable for my teammates. I want to be relied on and have that responsibility. And the only way you're going to do that and play a lot of, log a ton of minutes and play that way is if you tighten up and lock it up on defense. So now that I got that under control, I feel like I can take that next step and get back to my offensive game. And, you got a lot of really good forwards there, guys who can make plays. So
good boy.
I'm excited to the dogs are excited too. Yeah, they're fired up. Dad, the whole mess of desert dogs.
They're gonna like it.
Yeah,
Matt, there's been a lot of talk. There's been a lot of talk about the pec injury that you suffered back in late in 2018 and what impact it's had on your offensive game. I wanted to clarify that. Is that still impacting you, or are those two things unrelated? Here's the dog right here. Awesome.
Oh, oh my, yeah.
She's a big girl.
What's the dog's name?
Marley.
Nice.
She lives up to the name. She's a crazy little puppy, but no, she's settled into.
No more pooping in the snow, because she's going to be out in the desert. She's going to love it. I tell you what, no rain, no snow.
All right, sorry. You remember my question still?
No, the pec injury is no. I mean, it's hard when you go through injury. I think any player will tell you that. Kind of put me on the shelf. I had like 3 different surgeries that went along with that. So it did take me some time, especially that year and a half after. It's wasn't fully there, but working with my trainer Tommy, doing all the right rehab, putting my body in the best position to have longevity and reach my peak performance is a part that I really enjoy in the summer, and something that we've dove into this summer more than ever. So my body feels great, and I'm ready to get back to it and run some numbers. I've been talking to Kells lots and some of the other boys. Like, yeah, it's time we take over and we make some noise down south.
Petey mentioned the opportunity that's ahead for you in Arizona. More minutes, probably a different role than you were playing in Minnesota. Could this be, I don't know if you've looked at what Shane Gostisbehere did here, but he had a bit of a revival here. I'm wondering if that could be a model for you to follow.
Yeah, I guess it could be similar. But yeah, just trying to take it day by day and make sure that I'm putting in the preparation to make that happen and facilitate that. It's an everyday deal, and you got to commit to that. Commit to the whole process of it, and good things happen to people who do that, and aren't just wishy-washy or thinking good luck's going to come to them. You got to work it into existence, and that's what I'm going to do this year.
You looked at your last season in Minnesota. You wore the letter A there. You were a leader there. You're going to be asked to be a leader here, clearly, with your veteran presence and all these young kids working their way into the lineup. So I think that's going to be a big part of what you do. But you've got some former teammates here. You've got Nick Bjudstad. You got Jason Zucker here. Have you had an opportunity to communicate with them? And does that get you even more excited to start getting playing here in the desert?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, both of them reached out to me, even, Buggy was in my ear every other day, leading up to me signing. He got the clamps on me a couple of weeks ago at a wedding that we were at, and I had him and his wife Jackie. They were howling like coyotes and stuff late at night, trying to get me and my girl to do it. I was like, we were making them jump through the hoops, but it was fun. It's been a good process.
I got to ask you about this because going back to that NHLPA Q&A, you mentioned that your favorite off-season spot is Australia. I don't know if that still holds, but you're obviously going to get a chance to go to Australia again really soon.
Yeah, crazy. Oh, man, I know. My best friend who went with me, Blake, hit me up as soon as I told him where I signed in. And, I was just looking back through those pictures. The good times we had there. Spent 3 weeks. We landed in Sydney, and then we rented out Mitsubishi, like Outback or something with the grill guard, and we started in Sydney and worked our way all the way up to Cairns and to the most northern point, started in the south and worked our way up the east coast there. Just kind of being beach bums, and it was an amazing experience. Just talking to the people and having the locals really plan out our trip. It was is different than most of the vacations I've ever taken, but just truly an amazing experience. So I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun over there for the guys, and there'll be some great team bonding.
Yeah, you're only 5 weeks away from that. So the next question is, when are you going to make it to the desert? When do you plan on making the move and finding your way to Arizona?
Yeah, with signing so late, it's nice that I got a place already in AC, so the move shouldn't be too bad. We got the dogs. Probably coming just after Labor Day, I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's a good move, buddy. You mentioned on the Zoom call yesterday that you'd heard the temperatures down here, and, and they're going back up to that again. So take your time.
Yeah, pump the brakes then.
No rush. There's a rumor. I talked to somebody in Minnesota today. There's a rumor you're going fishing on the Mississippi with a good buddy of mine here in a couple weeks, and he's fishing up in Alaska today. But he said I can't say his name on the air. I don't know why, but he said I can't. So anyway, we're looking forward to coming to the Arizona, to the desert. Matt, it's going to be a great experience here. This team is really taking a step forward. And I think with the signing of yourself and Zucker and Kerfoot and bringing Cooley, and I think you can really see this commitment. Excited to get you here in the desert. Thanks so much for taking all this time with us today. Look forward to you getting here, and we're going to do it all again soon.
Yeah, I can't wait. Thanks, fellas.
Well, clearly he's a big fan of this show because he has a dog. And a lot of dog lovers like yourself, Craig. So what did you think of Marley's first TV appearance in the desert?
Well, it's going to lead to more, I think. That's what I would say. Marley is going to have to be featured somehow, some way, very soon.
And I'd like to see the nickname, and he was open to it. I think he was open to the doctor. And somebody said in the chat, fixing the blue line.
There it is.
I like it.
I think
stick.
Make it stick, Coyotes
I like
Nation.
it, Doc. So let's keep working on it. Doc or the doctor? I like it, Doc. I like it. What are his expectations here, Craig, coming into the desert for this season?
I just, again, what we were saying just before we started the interview, he's got an opportunity here to revive a role that he had earlier in his career, to be more of a two-way guy. He got, he played a lot of minutes, as you mentioned, still in Minnesota, but I think he was third in minutes on the Wild blue line, and he didn't have some of the roles that he had earlier in his career. I think he's going to get a chance to be the guy again. I know we've talked about the power play. I still think he's going to get a significant role on the power play. I think he's probably going to run the second unit. He's got a chance to really revive his entire career. And then, because he's on a one-year contract, he's got a chance to maybe cash in, whether it's here or if it's moving on to another team at the deadline, even to play for a contender. It's a chance for a renaissance in his career.
One thing, Craig, you've had a chance to talk to him yesterday on a Zoom call, and you talked to him today on this interview. You've had an opportunity to talk to a lot of players that are coming to Arizona over your span here covering the Coyotes. And you've heard guys, every single one of them say, can't wait to get to the desert. Excited about my opportunity, even though it was bullshit. But a lot of them said it. Do you get a sense that he sincerely is excited about his opportunity here in the desert?
I do. Again, for the reasons that I just mentioned, he has a house here. He's had a house for several years here. His trainer, Tommy Powers, actually was here with the Coyotes for a while before Tommy went and started a business in Minnesota, ironically, working with Matt Dumba back there. He genuinely likes it here, and he mentioned to us that it's a comfort in a way to know that you've already got your house in place. He's familiar with the area. So between that and the role that he's going to have with this team, not only on the ice, but also in the room with who he is, and maybe even in the community. Hopefully he can bring something to this team as well. He clearly has a lot to give on that front. I do think that he's genuinely excited about it. Listen, every player says, oh yeah, they're at the top of my list. And if Matt Dumba got a good offer from a contender, do I think he would be in Arizona? No, I don't. I think he would have gone to one of those contenders. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't view this as a good situation. I think he does.
Yeah, and I think for Coyotes fans, one thing that was apparent here, he can defend. We've seen how well he can defend. I think the offensive game is going to get a respark here. I really, really do. I think watching him play and his ability to skate and get to the net, I know is part of his game. He just didn't get an opportunity to do it. So I think you're going to see that here. The physical side of his game, we haven't talked a lot about in the last 2 days. This dude can hit. And the reason he hits so well is he skates so well. So he can hit in the middle of the ice, which you just don't see very often. Coyotes fans are going to love seeing him play in the mullet. I'm telling you, he's going to be an exciting player. He's going to be a leader. And I think this is another of those great signings for Bill Armstrong. Not just a good player, but a really good person.
Yeah, I got a chance to talk to Bill yesterday, and I said it's almost like you've been shopping in the All Saints Club with some of these guys that are coming in. Like, the character of these guys is unbelievable. You talk about wanting to have good guys in your locker room, but this is like a different level of just quality human beings, and I think it's going to be a
letter in Minnesota.
So many stories that I have that I want to write on Matt Dumba. Like, I've got 6 stories in my head already, and one of them was what you were just talking about. This guy hits like a freight train, and it's almost a lost art in the NHL. Those open ice hits, and we can talk about what happened with Pavelski. I'm not sure that one was necessarily clean, but
sorry, Tracy,
you don't get guys that often that hit like this. Like, I think back to Rafi Torres, right? Yeah. He's first of all, he's compact, right? Low to the ice, low center of gravity. Man, can he deliver a hit?
You know what else can deliver? Illegal Pete's. Because today is Taco Tuesday, as yesterday was Margarita Monday. And I tell you what, if you haven't been to Illegal Pete's, the favorite part of me and Illegal Pete's is from the second you walk in the door till the time you're sitting at the bar eating, watching sports, and drinking a beer is minutes. It's minutes.
Yep.
And the food is absolutely amazing. We've already talked Taco Tuesday. We've already talked about Margarita Monday, and it's almost patio weather. So get ready for those patio beers at their Tempe location. Can't wait. Full menu, bowls, tacos, salads, burritos, so much more. And Leah's favorite, the piping hot queso. Illegal Pete's is your go-to spot this summer. Stop by for happy hour from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. every single day at all 12 locations. I didn't know that. 12 is a lot.
It is a lot of locations.
That's a lot of locations. Illegal Pete's, the go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beer. The 3 most important B's. for the last 28 years. And since we're talking about something else, we're going to talk about BetMGM. And we talk about BetMGM a lot on this show, right? And at PHNX. I will tell you this. Yesterday, I sat in on the bets show. So what do you do on the bet show? You bet. And you talk about bets. First of all, as I made the bets on the bet show, I made the bets on the BetMGM app.
Yeah, I was going to say, in order to make those bets, you know what you need?
You need to download the damn app.
Yep.
And when you download the app, don't go through it fast like my wife did. You want to make sure you enter PHNX as the code. You have to enter PHNX as the code. So don't go by fast. Go slow through the sign-up process, because if you listen to the bet show, and I've been on the bet show 3 times in the last 2 weeks, I am officially 8-1. Do you know how good that is in betting? Betting, you want to be just above 50%. Buddy, I'm 8-1. Am I lying, DP? I was 3 for 3 yesterday. And so stay tuned for immediately after this show, we're going to the bet show, and I'm going to come up with 3 more winners, because I am in fuego on bets. So use the BetMGM. Honestly, it's super easy. Yeah. You can think the bet. We'll tell you the bets. Make the bet on the BetMGM app. Make sure you download the BetMGM app. Sign up for BetMGM. Use bonus code PHNX. There's a few different offers depending on where you live. But for our Arizona audience, place your first bet and receive up to $1,000 back in bonus bet if it loses. You heard that right, if it loses. Check out the show notes for full details. And now, listen to our friend Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-522-4700 Nevada. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., Kansas, Nevada, New York, or Ontario.
We talk about Matt Dumba going to a new team. We got to talk about another defenseman going to a new team. We talk about betting. Does this change the odds of the Pittsburgh Penguins and their ability to chase another cup with the signing off the trade? Not the signing, the trade of Erik Karlsson.
Yeah, you love this guy, right?
I mean, I guess he needs to show me, because I tell you what, look at his last 4 seasons in San Jose. Well, but great, you got 101 points. Your team sucks. You ended up, what was he, minus what? I have to look it up. Minus what?
Yeah, while you do that, I can talk. Listen, there are a lot of people who will analyze Erik Karlsson's game. Nobody's going to call him a great defender. The idea is not to defend, right? To get the puck out of the zone quickly. And Erik Karlsson is still obviously a next level offensive defenseman. To put up 100 points is ridiculous. It just doesn't happen, and it hasn't happened much recently, obviously. I wonder what we can talk about Pittsburgh's defending problems. We can talk about Pittsburgh's goaltending, and those are fair questions to look at when he goes to the Penguins. What is this power play going to look like, Petey? What is this power? Do you run, first of all, do you run 2 defensemen? Do you have Letang and Karlsson?
I think you have to.
And then you've got Sid, Gino, and Gensel?
Yeah, you're gonna tell Chris Letang he's not playing on the power play?
That's a terrifying power play. That's a terrifying power play.
I agree. I mean, it's hard to argue with his numbers. I get the offensive upside of Erik Karlsson. I understand he was minus 26 last year. He hasn't played a meaningful game in 5 seasons. Like, come on. And he's going to go to Pittsburgh now. Do you think his game has improved since the last time he was in the playoffs? Do you think he's become faster? No.
But he could be smarter, right?
Maybe.
He could be smarter, and playing with those guys, playing with Sid.
Great. So he gets every offensive zone start.
And it's going to bring a more responsible side out of him too. You never know how leadership impacts. We'll see. Not that Erik Karlsson has any issues on that front, but you just wonder about the impact of other players on a player like this. Offensively, anyway, man, it's wild to think about Sidney Crosby playing with Erik Karlsson.
I won't disagree. I bet his offensive numbers are, again, elite. However, last year it was a one-man show in San Jose. It was him. Like, he was the offense of the entire team. Guess what? You go to Pittsburgh, you are not. You have all the offensive weapons you've already mentioned. You've got plenty of people to spread the offense around, including another defenseman, Chris Letang, who wants his candy too. So there's only one puck. So I'm not convinced this is going to be here's what I think. Do you want to know what I think? I guess you do, because that's why we do this. I think Kyle Dubas signs Erik Karlsson because he's the sexy pick right now. He's the number one guy out there in the media, in the marketplace. It's a sexy pick to show the Pittsburgh Penguins fans our window is closing. Sid is and Malkin are still here. Hey, I'm trying to get this team over the hump, so I'm going to sign Erik Karlsson. Yeah. You look at the rest of that defense, and you go Chris Letang, Chris Letang has slowed down, and you watch, and I know Rick Tocchet loves Chris Letang, but you watch the Pittsburgh Penguin highlights every single night, and you watch the goals against and see how many Letang's on the ice for, how many times he gets beat wide, how many times he just doesn't get back to the net. He's another defensive liability. So there's two. Now you want to see the rest of their defense? Ryan Graves, Marcus Pettersson, Pierre-Olivier Joseph, and Chad Ruhwedel. So we talk about the Coyotes' top six. I'm not sure. Boy, howdy, Tristan Jarry is going to have his hands full, and he just signed a big ticket off a horrific year again. Yeah. We'll see. And you know what? I'll be the first guy during the season to eat crow and say I was wrong about him. I don't love this. I don't. I think it's a media play. I think it's. I don't get it. I don't think this boosts Pittsburgh into the playoff trajectory. There you go. That's Mayor Karlsson take.
Okay, let's get to some Coyotes housekeeping quick hitters.
Is this the part of the show where I can leave?
Yeah, you can just leave. I was wishing that your
so
chair
this
was
is the
on wheels.
section that just says the Craig Morgan Show.
You should have a chair on wheels so I can literally push you off screen.
Swear to God, I don't know what that word is.
What?
Oh, I thought it was a P. Curious. I thought it was a cuprious. I thought you should throw one of those fancy writing words at me again. So tell me, Craig, about the curious case of Artem Duda.
Well, we are 3 weeks from yesterday is when the University of Maine's classes are set to start. Artem Duda has still not been cleared by the NCAA to compete for the University of Maine. I know a lot of people, when this was first reported, oh, he's going to Maine, like, yeah, it's a done deal. It's a done deal. People in Maine were saying, no, you're wrong. It's a done deal. There were a lot of media members saying it's a done deal. No, it's not. It's still not. And I'm hearing from some people that it's going to be really hard to get him eligible to play at the University of Maine. Now, there's some thought that maybe the wait maybe even misses a few games. But my understanding from the University of Maine itself is they want to know by the start of classes, August 28th, whether he's going to be ready or not. Now, I guess there is some leeway in there. Maybe they can convince him because the season obviously doesn't start. Yes. But they'd like to have some closure. So if he doesn't get cleared, the other option, of course, is Youngstown, which added him to their 30-man protected list in the USHL. That's an option. They don't want him going back to Russia. He's not going to go back to Russia. So what it's going to be is it's going to be Maine or it's going to be the USHL, and maybe they try and get him back into Maine again next year. By the way, Maine tried to get him last year as well. So this is a crazy situation to watch. I do think it's a benefit for Artem Duda to play North American hockey, learn the game. You and I talked about this. Haven't seen a lot of them, but man, his skating is just elite. So I'm excited to see what he might be able to do on this sheet.
We're going to keep it on the players to start. Okay. So let's take a look at John Sebastian Day, and he is moving on from the Coyotes organization and going back overseas. Not going back overseas, going overseas.
He is going overseas, and I don't know which team, but my understanding, I don't think it's been reported yet, unless I missed it. But my understanding is he already has a deal in place with the team. It just hasn't been announced yet, so he's going to play in Europe. So he's moving on.
What about Liam Kirk, another European who's here?
He's not here. He played in the Liga last year. He left.
Oh,
Tucson.
yeah, he left.
He left.
See
Tucson.
how much I paid attention?
People were wondering when Day left, does this open up a slot for Liam Kirk? My sense is, look, he still has a season. He can prove them wrong by playing well over there, but the ship may have sailed on Liam Kirk. Let's face it. He's a 7th round draft pick, right? How many of these guys actually make it? It was a feel-good story coming out of the UK. You don't get many of those players. Brendan Perlini might point to the fact that he did that as well. But right now, I don't think Liam Kirk is the type of player that the Coyotes even want in Tucson.
Wow.
It's not, I mean, it is what it is, right?
Yeah, and you know what? Let's not.
I don't want to throw shade at Liam Kirk. It was a great story.
The Coyotes fans can't go, oh shit, Liam Kirk's not coming.
He earned a contract from Bill Armstrong because
in the American League,
he worked so hard and showed how badly he wanted it.
Absolutely.
It's a pretty cool story in and of itself.
Professional hockey player from England. Fantastic. Good for him. And let's talk about Andre Tournier. Since you're talking about Andre Tournier, is he signed yet? Is the extension there? Where are we at in the process of head coach Andre Tournier?
You know, it's times like these where I don't think people watch my whole video.
I don't.
Yeah, you probably didn't either.
I didn't. Did you have a video?
I explained what was going on with the Andre Tourigny situation,
You
but
did?
I've had multiple people saying, how come he's not signed yet? How come he's not signed yet? What I told you in the video was that while my understanding is the Coyotes and Tourigny have agreed to term and dollar, both sides happy on that front, they still got to get the assistants wrapped up, which is great, right? Like you hear this with a lot of coaches. They want to bring their assistants along for the ride. So that can take a little more time to get assistant coaches' contracts ironed out. I do think that this is going to be done before the preseason starts. Before they go to Australia, I think Andre Tourigny will have a contract. But don't freak out if it's not happening today or tomorrow. It's in process, and now you know why.
Well, I think it's an important piece of what the future of this team is going to be, is to get him locked up. I think it's incredibly important. And to show that he's trying to get his staff signed up before he signs his own contract, I think is a testament to what kind of person he is. And that's why not only the players fight for him, but also the staff.
Yeah. One last thing to get to. There's one roster spot left. And of course that can change. You can make a move. You can see someone like Jean-Sebastien Day say, hey, I want to go to Europe instead. And okay, and then
When
suddenly
you say Ross, you mean a contract?
Yeah,
slot.
you have one more contract slot. Yes, there's a maximum of 50. The Coyotes have 49 right now, if you don't count Connor Geekie and Maverick Lamoureux, who I know a lot of people keep saying, what if they make the roster? It's possible, but I don't think it's happening. I think they're going back to junior. So you have one slot open. Jan Jeník, of course, is not signed yet. Again, I still don't know where this is going because he didn't accept his qualifying offer. I wonder if he might try and play in Europe as well, which is one of the options. You can't play in the American League or the NHL, obviously, without a contract. He can't play in North America. He can go back to Europe if he wants. He could sit out. If he's not signed by December 1st, he's not eligible to play in the NHL this season. So it's a weird one to watch because he did show some things at times when he came up, but lacked the consistency. I don't think he has a lot of leverage. So this is a weird one to me. But anyway, with that open roster spot, you could see a lot of things happen here. The Coyotes could just leave it open because you like to have that flexibility in the season in case somebody comes available on waivers like a Connor Ingram or a Yusuf Alamaki, who you're really interested in bringing up on board. You can leave it open for a trade if you acquire someone by a trade while you're just giving up draft assets. There are a number of things you can do, but you do like to have that flexibility. So keep all that in mind with that final roster spot. It doesn't mean, they're holding it open just for Jan Jeník. Not necessarily. Jan Jeník could be sitting for a while.
Wow. You know where I'd like to be sitting for a while? I would like to be sitting at the Four Peaks 8th Street pub, enjoying a kilt lifter. And by the way, Craig and I have sat at the bar at the 8th Street pub, Four Peaks, many, many times. And you know what the biggest driver of Four Peaks is for me? Is their variety. Because when it's 118, nothing hits quite like a peach or a wow. You get that little citrusy snap to it. And wintertime, buddy, I'm all in Kilt Lifter. All in. Their number one selling beer, by the way, is Kilt Lifter. You can get
Somebody told me you can get a variety pack. I can't remember who it was.
Variety pack. I tried to sell it to Craig yesterday. Variety pack. Go to your local store. Anywhere you find your beer, you're going to find the Four Peaks Variety Pack that has all of these. So you can find your favorite. It's got the IPA. It's got the wow. It's got the Kilt Lifter. I'm telling you, there's so many different beers. And you need to know and pair. I don't drink wine. So I don't pair wine with my food. I pair my beer with my mood.
Oh, God.
Do you see what I just did there? That was really, really good. Check out Four Peaks Brew at Four Peaks Brew or at Four Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest at Arizona Hometown Brewery. You must be 21 years or older to drink Four Peaks, and please drink responsibly. And speaking about being responsible, this is our next sponsor. Oh, geez, you need to do this responsibly. And I will say this because I have dipped my toes into the THC CBD world this summer, and oh, geez, that's all I'm going to say. The variety that they have the Sleep Edition gummy. Their flavors are out of this world, but their cream, I'm still going creamsicle. I'm sorry. I know people like the strawberry and cream. I'm thinking the creamsicle hits hard. It does, by the way.
Blackberries and cream. Just saying.
What did you just say?
Blackberries and cream.
You like the blackberries and cream?
Yeah. That's my flavor. Sean? Isn't that yours as well?
I mean, the pink lemonade is my favorite.
That's true. When that came out,
again, it's more of a summertime flavor, and they are. By the way, they're amazing.
By the way, it's still summer here.
It is summer
for at least 8 more
They
weeks.
have all. You can get a variety pack now where you have all of the Hall of Fame flavors all in one place in their variety pack. Plus, the fruits and the creams are available in both Sunny Sativa or Mellow Indica. And when you're indica, you're into couch. That's allowing you to customize your OG experience based on the mood or time of day. And buddy, you know what my time of day is? Endo day. because I need to relax and chill out. So we are talking about the Sleep Edition gummies. And if you need to chill, check out OG's, because the side counter we've seen go infinite with Petey. We highly recommend you check out OG's online at ogsbrands.com and on Instagram at OG's Brands. You can also find their products at your local dispensary. You must be 21 years old or older to purchase and enjoy. Now, it is time for one of our new segments.
See, I'm getting stressed again.
That we had over the summertime. I don't get stressed, buddy, because I've been drinking and taking OG's. So, today is Tuesday. And what happens on Tuesday, Craig?
It's Trivia Tuesday.
It's Trivia Tuesday. This time, brought to you by the man behind the Mac, Sean DePaz.
Yo, 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 yo. What's going on? All right. Like I said before the show, I have no real metric as to how easy or difficult these questions are.
Uh-oh.
Can you
Put
not
on my
be on
glasses,
camera?
by the way.
Can you be on
I
camera?
can on myself. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
There we
hey,
go.
yo.
No real metric as to how easy or hard these questions are. So, let's see. I guess.
Let's get it. Let's hit it.
I feel like this first one might be super easy. We'll see.
Okay, don't blurt it out, Craig. Just absorb it.
Do you think I'm going to get any of these?
All right. He's the only number one overall pick to play for the Arizona Coyotes. Hint: he is a Buffalo Sabres legend.
You got it?
Well, I think I do.
Go ahead.
I think it's Chris Gratton.
Is Chris Gratton the number one overall pick?
No.
I didn't think so.
Oh, shit. Oh, Taylor Hall.
Taylor Hall.
Jesus Christ,
Yes.
what was I doing?
Yes.
I don't know why.
Sabres legend, Taylor
See,
Hall.
he said they're too easy. I had the Danny Briere trade in my head because I figured he had to go to the Danny Briere trade.
That was a good one,
Buffalo
actually.
Sabre legend Taylor Hall.
That was a good one.
Thank you.
How many games did he play for the Buffalo
Exactly.
Sabres?
Like, I had to, that's
Buddy.
what tripped me immediately. I was like, wait.
Taylor Hall played 37 games for
There
the
you go.
Buffalo Sabres.
The Buffalo Sabre legend.
Which,
Couple cups of
Taylor
coffee.
Hall.
to be fair, is more than he played with the Arizona Coyotes.
Yes.
Yeah,
He should have been.
35 with
I
the
tell you what,
Coyotes.
Joel got it. Joel nailed it. I should have had. So I'm embarrassed already.
All right.
Okay,
All right.
let's bring it up. Question
All right, there's a chance that these just get real hard, I
number two.
genuinely have no idea.
HK.
These two men are the only Hall of Famers to play for both the Buffalo Sabres and the
Howard
Coyotes/Jets.
Chuck.
Mm-hmm.
Dale Howard
Oh,
Chuck.
okay, Coyotes, Jets, yes. Dale
Coyotes,
Howard Chuck, yes.
Hall of Famer. Oh, Phil Housley. Phil Housley.
Yeah,
Housley.
yeah.
Dale Howard Chuck and Phil Housley.
Phil Housley.
Ducky. There you
And,
go.
Phil Housley also coached for both teams.
And he read a really, really bad helmet. Like, you remember that helmet? So when he coached here, I talked to him about his helmet. And I said, buddy, that helmet sucked. And he said, yeah, but they paid me like X amount of dollars per year to wear it. And I said, okay, wear the helmet then. And Rick Tocchet wore the same helmet. They look just stupid. And I really like the old CCM.
You ever keep your old helmets?
I mean,
Way back when?
Yeah.
I still have my old Jofa.
see, I had my old,
Jofa is
I had the
next level.
Northland, the round. Do you remember the toilet bowl?
do,
Yeah, I
yeah,
got my
yeah,
Northland.
yeah.
I had a navy blue Northland.
Mm.
Yeah, I still have it.
We'll have to bring in our old helmets. someday.
It's at my mom's house, I guess.
Okay.
I hope. But let's go. Question
All
number
right,
3.
let's go.
Question number 3. Oh, let me move myself. While he played with 5 different teams over his 17-year career, Danny Briere saw his most success, 283 points, with which NHL franchise?
That's the
That
Buffalo
one's-
No.
Sabres. Wait, what? Philadelphia
Philadelphia
Flyers.
Flyers.
Philadelphia Flyers.
I was thinking it was-
I was thinking of that
So,
monster
when you-
year he had in Buffalo, but
When you think of Danny Briere,
230 with the Buffalo Sabres.
when you think of Danny Briere in a Buffalo Sabres uniform, what logo comes to mind? Sean DePaz.
Unfortunately, it's the slug for me.
The slug for you. I see it's the goat for me.
Yeah, it's. I was just a little older when the slug came around, so that was like the prime end of him and Drury and all of them.
So he played a lot of games with Philly then, right?
Yeah, he played.
Yeah,
let's
Brady
see,
misunderstood. I love the CCM. That was the classic helmet that everybody needed to wear. That was the
Yeah.
good helmet, Brady. That
Because he
was
had
the
that-
good choice.
You remember right out of the lockout, Danny Briere suddenly
Yes,
was
he was
a
fire.
monster right after the Coyotes
Fire.
traded
Danny
him,
Briere
and-
played 258 games with the. 364 games with the Flyers. Scored 283 points.
I tell you what, though, if the game
Ouch.
would have been different when Danny Briere broke into the league with the Coyotes, maybe he would have stayed. Because the time when Danny Briere was in the league, it wasn't a league for small, skilled players.
But as we were going into the lockout, as the lockout was nearing, there was a lot of talk about changing the game and opening it up for smaller players. Some people saw that coming. Some people
Well, this franchise
didn't.
liked veteran players at the time. They were not into the Shane Doans and Brad Isbisters and Daniel Briers. All right, is that it? Do we have one more?
One more question and then a bonus.
The bonus
So
question.
2 more
We have one
questions.
more and a bonus?
And a bonus.
Yep.
Oh, buddy, let's go.
This is kind of similar to the last one. Question 4. Of all 10 franchises Buffalo native and St. Francis High School alum Lee Stempniak played for, he played the least number of games for this team.
I'm not going to get this one.
Buddy, there's honestly,
way.
could you name all the teams he even played for?
No.
I couldn't name.
I could rattle a bunch of them, but man,
I'm a huge Lee Stempniak fan too.
might be the Coyotes.
No, he played here longer.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's got to be. Can I get an Eastern Conference
Or
or Western Conference?
Western Conference.
This is a tough one. This is a tough one.
I didn't even know where else Lee Stempniak played in the West.
Played all over the damn place.
In the West, though? Don't cheat.
Right. Give us the answer.
We don't know.
It is the Winnipeg Jets.
Wow. Lee Stempniak was a Winnipeg Jet.
Yeah, I believe he played 13 games with Winnipeg or something like that. But yeah, he was
Huge Lee Stempniak fan.
18 games with Winnipeg in
Even more so
2014.
now.
And I like him. Like, you see what he's doing now and the job he's done. This is the perfect role for him. I was actually a little threatened by him when he first came on with the organization because I was still working there, and his title had something to do with analytics and video, and I'm like, wasn't that my job? And I was a little bit. I thought he was stepping on my toes, but then he didn't, and everything's
He
fine.
really wanted to get into player development.
Well, it's where he
from the start,
belongs. He's
too.
great
Yeah,
at it.
Yeah.
His personality, what he does for this team, it's a great fit, and it's shown what his responsibilities have been under GMBA. I think it's a great fit for Lee Stempniak.
Um,
This is it.
Here's the bonus.
Fun
question.
fact: Lee Stempniak played 21 games for the Pittsburgh Penguins, so it was close, and 21 for Boston as well.
Wow.
Over 2 different stints. So, bonus question: who is winning the all-time series between the Buffalo Sabres and the Coyotes/Jets?
Wow, that's some bad hockey, isn't it? They're both really good at points. Like, you look at Buffalo Sabres making a run all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals. The Jets were fantastic back in the day when they first broke. You look at the battles they had with the Calgary Flames, or not Calgary Flames, Edmonton Oilers, and they just couldn't get over on them with Dale Howard-Chuck and Teemu Solani. I'm going to say it's close.
I'm going to tell you that it's not. It's actually quite lopsided.
I'll say the Sabres are ahead for the all-time
Fine, I'll
series.
take the Coyotes Jets.
It is the Buffalo Sabres with 51 and 28 and
I have
7.
no clue.
all
Wow.
time
Do you remember
against
the
Coyotes
overtime
and
game
Jets.
in
Yes,
2015?
The butt goal.
The butt goal. Yeah.
Hate that.
Yeah.
So that was a fantastic segment.
51,
You know what else is
28 and 7?
Yeah, according to my research on the internet, I
That was
don't know
great.
how trustworthy it is, but
Great job by Sean DePaz. It
Yeah,
was an
stumped me on
outstanding
most of them.
segment. You know what else is outstanding? A Polar Pop at Circle K. Because you know why? Because the cup doesn't sweat.
Is that why?
It is why. Because you see how humid it is out here? If we say 18 to 20%, that's high humidity, buddy. I don't care. I don't want to hear 90% from Florida. I don't give a shit. We're in Arizona. It's hot. It's hot and it's humid, and you need yourself a Polar Pop. We're so excited to partner with our friends at Circle K. Check out your local Circle K for the best coffee, beer, and snack selection, and their premium gas. There are Circle Ks on every corner in this great state of Arizona, so make sure before you pull over for gas, look for the nearest Circle K and get your snacks, your orange slices, your chips, and of course, your Polar Pops. Right now, if you buy Powerade, they're 4 for $5. You get entered to be one of the 10 finalists to win a 2023 Ford Big Bend Bronco SUV. Make sure you're not missing out on all the great stuff. Text PHNX to 31310 to join their SMS subscriber club and get a buy one, get one free offer on 32-ounce Polar Pops. Circle K, we love you. And what else do we love? We love our diehards. And you think I'm kidding. Our diehards are literally the lifeblood of what happens here at PHNX. Tell them what you do for the diehards at PHNX. Craig?
What do I do?
Yes.
Oh, I do everything for them. I do anything for them.
No, what do you do?
I write
What do you
for them.
provide?
I provide them information. I engage with
Do
them.
they get shit that people that aren't diehards don't get?
Of course they do.
Of course they do.
Of course they
They
do.
get articles.
I break news in the Discord
Break
channel that I
news.
don't tell anyone else for a few days.
True story.
I've got another Die Hard story coming this week. I've told people, I haven't told them the topic yet, but I'm going to dive
coming.
into a topic that I generally dive into in the summer. There's a lot of things, and we're going to do even more things for diehards. We have another segment, and I'm not going to tell you about that yet either, but it's going to be exclusive content for the diehards coming when the season starts. It's going to be something that only diehards will be able to view, and it is definitely something that you will want to view.
Hey, buddy, look at the stuff that Coyotes podcast has done for the diehards this month. We've done the question of the day that only diehards got. We've done a Coyote town hall. Only diehards could come in. We did a Petey's Puck Talk that was only available to diehards.
2 pieces of breaking news.
And not only that, but you get merchandise at a discount. You get discounts on all events, merchandise, and access to all of our Discords across all the channels. And one thing, I can't stress this enough, PHNX is a sports community for the state of Arizona. It's not just the hockey and the Coyotes. It is basketball, it's football, it's baseball, it's ASU, it's U of A. It's all here. Please check out PHNX. Go to gophnx.com. Check out the diehards and become a diehard today, and you truly become part of the PHNX family. Well, Craig, I think we have made it through another show without Leah Merrill.
Yep, last one.
Boy, I feel like I talk a lot. I should change. Could I get my contract changed to by the word? I need a new agent. Follow us on social media. Please follow and like and do 5-star and thumbs up and all the shit you're supposed to do. Hit the bell. Subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss any of our shows that pop up. And look for tomorrow's show because we have another guest. We had Dumba today. Who's tomorrow?
Liam O'Brien coming on tomorrow. We might talk a little hockey with Liam, but we're going to talk a lot of other things to talk about Liam.
Has he made this circuit of a lot of weddings this year?
Weddings,
beards, parties,
celebratory parties.
Boy, howdy.
He's also a fashion guru. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Yeah, we will talk a little hockey with him tomorrow.
Yeah, so it's another good guest here on the PHNX Coyotes show. So
and by the way, tomorrow at Go PHNX, look for a deeper dive on Matt Dumba.
There you go.
An angle that
Dumba every day.
Probably haven't seen so far.
Dumba every day this week. Wow, that's a lot of Dumba content. Love it at PHNX. Make sure you subscribe to your YouTube channel so you don't miss anything. Follow us on Twitter at PHNX_Coyotes. Follow Craig at Craig S. Morgan. Follow me at S. Peters Hockey. And as always, the guy behind the Mac, Sean_DePaz. And we will see you next time tomorrow, hopefully with Leah back at the controls driving this bus. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow.